Kickstands up for the next episode in the Baron's Last Ride series. This series of videos is a rough cut of Baron's Last Ride with all the details of the full motorcycle adventure. Following the series, you'll see a release of the documentary compressed to a more polished feature-length movie, more fast-paced, complete with all original soundtrack.
Now that the bike and I have both had a few days of rest since getting home from Colorado, we're heading towards Austin today to get not only the service done, but to replace that rear tire for one that does not have a nail option in it. That tire was actually at dead 0 PSI last night when I checked it, so I've got it pumped up. It's at almost 43. Hopefully it gets me to Austin, but I have my tire pump if I need on the way. When I pulled in through the yard and up to the front door the other day, I really thought I was going to feel one, relief that I made it home without the tire completely failing on me, and two, relief that I could now just get some rest and put my body into healing mode from the ride. What I didn't expect was how hard it hit me seeing the emptiness inside that house. I know that Baron wasn't going to be there. I know that the whole almost 3 weeks before that were full of events and activities that were constant reminders that Baron was gone. It was doing things like going for walks, going to restaurants, being in hotels, just being on the drive, going to the beach, whatever it was. All these things that I was now doing alone without my furry little sidekick. So it's not that I forgot he's gone by any stretch. It was a constant reminder of it. But maybe it was the distraction of having sort of a task-oriented mind of, hey, I'm on this ride to go put his ashes where they need to be. Maybe it was because I was on the bike instead of in the car that we're used to taking. I don't know, but when I got home, the minute I opened that door and looked in the living room where his bed used to be and just saw emptiness, it just hit me like a waffle-headed framing hammer between the eyes. And every room was just the same way. And it's not just the emptiness visually, but that silence deafened even my ears, which were still ringing after 2.5 weeks on the road. I guess it all just reinforces that whatever is bothering you or causing you stress in life, you can take your vacations, you can have your distractions, you can go drink a bottle of whiskey and try to erase it, but all you do is delay the inevitable. That problem is always going to be there waiting for you. In fact, it's going to be doing push-ups in the corner, getting stronger the longer you put off dealing with it. And some things there's not a good way to deal with. I mean, this whole trip was my best attempt to deal with it by establishing closure, if you will, by feeling like I reunited Baron with Sunshine and have some peace with that. But ultimately, I do have to accept that this is it. It's just me from now on. And that's okay. It's just going to be an adjustment like any other major change in life. All right, I am leaving the city of Austin. Next stop is Fredericksburg, Texas. Cool little German town where I can get all my stuff together and ready to go hike Enchanted Rock tomorrow. Actually, I had to print out a park pass You can no longer just show up to a park in Texas, apparently. You have to print out a pass the day before. So I'm good to arrive between 6:30 and 8:30 a.m., which is good because it gets me there while it's still a little bit cool. And since I have no idea how long it's going to take me to get up that rock in my condition, the earlier the better. Just passed through Dripping Springs a few minutes ago, and this is why they call it the gateway to the hill country, because it very clearly changes your environment from kind of outside Austin to hill country. You kind of look out across there, you can see a lot of the hilltops. Definitely more open area out here. Look at all that out there. Equestrian activities, ranches. I loved riding bikes in Florida, primarily going just down A1A along the coast and watching the sunrise over the ocean. That to me was the best part about riding down there. You didn't have many curves besides getting on the clover leaves and seeing how fast you could take those. But moving to Texas and having the hill country is just a whole different kind of riding style. It still allows you the kind of peaceful relaxation like what I'm doing here, just cruising along, enjoying the scenery. But you also have more twisties in some of these roads where you can really ride a lot more aggressive for things like the sport bikes or the fast cars or things like that. So it's just a very different style of riding, a little bit more versatile to me because you don't have an ocean unless you go a few hours down to Corpus, which is still not that far away, but it's very different in that you can ride fast at a spirited pace, or you can just kind of cruise like I'm doing today. Just entered the town of Fredericksburg. You can see it's a very German town by the sign right here that says Fredericksburg Willkommen. Driving in, almost all I saw on the highway coming in were wineries and breweries. There was a ton of them. I just crossed Barron's Creek. I don't know if you saw that sign. Part of why this is a fitting final destination for Barron's last ride. Der Kuchenladen. German is a little rusty. I don't remember what that means. Kuchen is kitchen, I think. Right. Fredericksburg Blue over there on patrol. Ausländer Biergarten. There's Ausländer Biergarten. I don't think that's the one that we go to or used to go to. Somewhere around here. I think it's further back that way. National Museum of Pacific War over there. Very touristy, but a cool little town nonetheless. It's unique. Leaving the hotel just a little bit later than I planned. It says it puts me there about 6:45. I was hoping to be there right at 6:30, but it's not a major deal. Point is, I'm still getting there early as possible and try to avoid the heat any worse than it has to be. This is definitely going to be a physical challenge enough without adding 100 degrees to it. Because it's still dark, I'm running the thermal. These are back roads to get up to Enchanted Rock, and there are definitely going to be at least deer out there, if not other creatures that I'll want to avoid. I don't think it's quite the rut yet for deer, but it's still some dicey roads out here in the dark, so I'm just following the truck in front of me and letting him clear the way. I can see him very clearly, and I'll be able to see any deer bouncing around on the sides that are looking to jump in the way. You can see off to the side the sun is just starting to come up a little bit, so it'll be light soon, but I think I'm only 15 minutes away from the park, so it'll be after I get there before the sun really comes up. That's fine. Even though this is going to be at a more feasible altitude for me than Colorado, this will probably be the more challenging of the events as far as physical aptitude, getting up that rock. Colorado was tough because the air was so thin. The actual physical task wasn't as bad, just walking across a meadow and up and down a couple rock walls. But this, better altitude, more oxygen, but a tremendously more challenging physical feat. I know when we first moved here, Sunshine and I went up this thing and I had to stop and breathe 3-4 times going up, eventually working my way up to where I could make it up in one shot without stopping to breathe, and that took about an hour. So going in today, I've got my oxygen bottles, I've got my bag as light as I can with just the basics, and I've got some gator lights. It's early, it's cooler, no rain, so it shouldn't have any slippery surfaces. So I've got it as optimized as I can, but this is still going to be damn tough for me to make it up that rock. It's not a race though. All I'm looking to do is survive making it to the top, spreading the last of the ashes, and making it down to the bottom. Preferably walking down to the bottom, not slipping and falling and rolling down to the bottom. Oh, started looking out at the sunrise colors coming up and almost went off the road. This stretch of road is a lot of fun riding on a motorcycle when you can see where you're going. I'll definitely be looking forward to riding back to town on it in daylight when there's less chance of an antlered assassin jumping out at me from the shadows. There's the Texas sunrise starting to peek out from the horizon, which I highly prefer as opposed to Bambi peeking out from the ditches. It's been quite a few years since I've been out here, so I'm gonna have to kind of remember where to go in and how to get set up, and of course it's changed with having this pass to put on the windshield. Even after Sunshine passed, Barron and I would come up here once in a while, but it was shortly after that they banned dogs from the summit, so we quit going. I'm sure some dumbass wasn't being responsible and their dog fell and got hurt, so that means all the rest of us have to suffer for their stupidity. Typical. Oh man, that's gorgeous. Watch the road, but damn, that's beautiful. Man, look at those colors. Cows, those would be no good to hit either. Loose livestock. So you can find cows on the road out here. Alright, here's Enchanted Rock. Looks like these folks are going to the same place, so I'll just follow them. That's it right there. Now, because I have my little printed pass, do I even have to stop at any kind of a station, or do I just cruise over to the parking area? I don't think I need to check in, do I? Nah, I'll be fine. I've got what I need. Permit. Vehicle. Nope. Now, it seems like parking is That way? Damn. Summit Trail. Okay. So this would be the parking for the Summit Trail out here, but the restrooms are back that way, so maybe I'll... Yeah, this is it here. Summit Trail. Okay, so that's where I want to park. Let's go over here and hit the restroom quick. It should be right here. Perfect. That's the rock. Kind of hard to see through the trees, but that's it right there. All right, Summit Trail. Here's where it starts. And here we go. This is Texas, so I do have to watch for God's fun creatures like rattlesnakes, scorpions, whatever else is out here. See, no pets on Summit Trail. Sucks. Oh well. 7:07. Got the timer going just to see how long it takes me. It is a bit daunting to look up there. That's a tall climb, especially for someone with all the cardiovascular strength of a newborn fawn. God damn. I took that super slow. Stopped for a drink. I'm still gasping already. Not surprised. Just reality. Paranoid about taking a wrong turn. Having to backtrack. Waste oxygen. The fuck am I going? Is this right? Grab an artificial lung. I don't know if you gotta shake this or not. Damn, that sunrise is beautiful. Now is where it starts to get to be a real challenge, because you're not walking up a trail, just walking up a big fucking rock that gets steeper and steeper. Feel free, I'm taking my time. This is a lot for me.
Yeah. I stopped halfway.
Oh, did you?
I know my limit.
Yeah.
Saw the sunrise. We're gonna go now.
You too. God damn it. Oh. Fuck. Don't you want to go this way?
I don't really know.
Oh, I think you need to start meandering that way, if I remember right. It's been a few years, but
There you go, little buddy. This is your last little adventure. It's your last hike. And this is the end for you, buddy. Cough and be with sunshine now. And that's the end of my little buddy's life cycle.
For too many years after something like this, I'd stare into the darkness, an ocean, a sunrise, the bottom of a bottle, whatever it was, looking for answers. And there were no answers. I didn't even know what fucking questions to be asking in the first place. And instead of worrying about trying to understand the past or predict the future, which I can't do, I should have just been looking at the sunrise, looking at the blue sky, whatever's in front of me, and appreciating that moment, because that's really all we have. There's no big complex explanation for why I lost my girlfriend or why I lost my dog. They were here and part of my life for the years I enjoyed them, and now they're gone. And as my rotting heart continues to decay, it'll always hold a part of both of them there that I'll take with me wherever I go. But this is the moment here and now that I have to appreciate. This is what matters today.
Now as I say goodbye to my little buddy for the last time, it's time to walk back down the rock, which at least will be a hell of a lot easier than coming up this thing. I feel like just a shadow now. Kind of like a ghost that hasn't quite got there.
My cardiovascular capacity is not such that something like that should even be feasible. But when you're driven by what you feel is purpose, more than just this will be fun, it changes that outlook. You just accept that, hey, this is what I have to do. It's not an option to not do it or to quit. You just do it and keep at it and win by attrition until you're at the top of that rock. And that's basically what I did. Lots of oxygen, lots of fluids, lots of slow walking, and lots of breathing rest, but I made it up there. And this task wasn't something like yelling Drago at the top of a mountain in Siberia. It was something different. There wasn't an intensity that comes with it, and I've noticed that as I've gotten worse with the health, my intensity is subsided a lot in a lot of things. When I ride, it's less about the intensity and that adrenaline rush. It's more about a calm zen, a peacefulness that comes with just enjoying something, and that's okay. I miss the intensity, lifting weights, whatever it might be, but some things you have to leave behind and other things you learn to enjoy. And now I've left Baron behind altogether. That was the fourth and final resting place for his ashes. There now with sunshines. Well, actually, the fifth place is the memorial tattoos right over my heart. So even though any remains of them are now gone of this world, they'll always be part of me, not just in memories, but physical matter as well. Having completed the last task, there's a, I guess I'll call it a purposeful peace that comes with it. It's not a peace in the way that we normally think of as just calmness, although that's part of it, but it's a peace that comes from having accomplished something, and that purpose of reuniting them in the next world is now done.